we are missing a few things from down there. Alright, next up, from doing the pedals, I'm going to move over to the shifter. We need to remove this so we can gain access to the top of the box and get the shifter linkage in there for the 6-speed. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we are going to continue on with the 6-speed swap, and we're going to be taking out the shifter. We're going to take the shifter out and we're going to see what we need to do to get the 6-speed shifter in. In the process, we're going to jack the car up. We're going to drain the fluids from the auto so we can remove it very shortly. Alright, what we need to do is clean up around the shifter. Get rid of that. We don't have the valves on the exhaust anymore. And we've got a couple of screws. Alright, let's pop this out. What I normally do is just get a trim tool onto the bottom here and it should pop it up. Alright, let's get this out. Haven't got it out for a while. Might even need to take the radio surround off. Nope. Right, didn't even get all the screws out. Wow, look at that. Would you look at that? Spiders. Spiders. I don't think I'll need this. We'll be listening to the engine a lot more. Alright, while I'm removing this, I'm going to jack the car up and drain the fluids from the auto. Alright, just thinking while I jack the car up, if I should get the engine out. Yeah, it's going to be easier, but what I think I'll do, I'll show you guys that you can do it with the engine in. And if I need to change anything, then, well, hopefully I don't need to change anything because the auto is pretty much the same size as the 6-speed. So everything should route around it. But if the 6-speed goes well, the turbo system will probably get changed. So that's when the engine will come out and we'll give it a good paint. Alright, let's drop the fluid out of the gearbox. We'll chuck it into this red tub. Alright, so we're getting the shifter out at the moment. We've got 6 screws we need to get out. Got 5 out at the moment, just our last one at the front here. Disconnected the connector in front of this screw. We should have some cables attached to this that will go straight to the gearbox. Don't know what that is. Oh, that's from the radio. You can see underneath we've got some cables, and you can see the back side of the gearbox, the transmission. Go down to 1. Put the lever. Alright, you might be able to see through there near that white there. There's the lever. So we need to get the exhaust off. Alright, it's getting close to about 1 AM, so I'm going to go and have a sleep. Come back tomorrow after work. Alright, we're back. Let's get the dump pipe off so we can get to the cables to get the auto shifter out. Alright boys, we have the exhaust off. We have both sections. The top section is behind the big one. So what we need to do is get this cable off the side here. So we'll undo that pin there onto the selector, and then on the mounts here we'll take off the bolts. Alright, now that we've got the auto selector out, we've got the manual shifter there now. I've got the plate here from the Liberty. A little bit of modifications are needed. Got 2 holes there that line up. We need to put 2 more at the front here. Probably drill them out bigger and riv nut them, because there are bolts that go down to sandwich that on to that rubber section there. So yeah, we'll do that shortly. I'm going to move on to getting the front drive shafts out. Alright, I've already got the wheel off, got it off a couple of days ago. First up, what I'm going to do is take this brake caliper off and just hang it and see if we can mount the Spec B ones straight up to the hub. If we can, all good, we can swap the rotors over, no problem. Alright, we bolt straight up, that's good. Alright, we got the drive shaft out. So what I did was disconnected the sway bar, so this whole arm could drop down lower. There are some pins that you need to knock out. Here it is. So I used a 5.5 punch and got that out. Pretty easy. So with these ones, you pull that out first, and then when it's dropped down you pull this side out. Pretty easy. I've just jacked it back up and put the bolts back in. I'm going to move on to the other side and do the same. Alright, we've got the right hand side drive shaft out, so we've got both out now. So next up, I'm going to take the bell housing bolts off and flex plate bolts. Show through this little hidey hole. And then next up we'll be doing the tail shaft. Alright, we've got the 4 flex plate bolts out. We're going to do the bell housing bolts, also get the starter out. Okay, all bell housing bolts and starter is off. What I'm going to do next is drain the front diff and the lines that go to the oil cooler for the transmission. I'll disconnect, so I'll have the tub under there, let those 2 drain in there at the same time. While that's draining, I'll jack up the back, it'll be level, and I'll get it up a bit higher, ready to take the tail shaft out. Alright, so I've disconnected the back side of the tail shaft. I need to do that carrier bearing. So that's the last thing to do. I've got the tub there because we'll have some transmission fluid come out the back there. I don't want to drip that on the ground, so just got those 2 bolts to get out. And yes, I'm going to move this orange cable. Alright, so we got the drive shafts out, and I've heard quite a few times that the auto is the same as the 6-speed, but in this case it's not. The auto is a lot shorter. Now it could be because the Liberty is a station wagon, I'm not sure, but hopefully the auto one works in the Forester with the 6-speed. We are missing a few things from down there. Okay, I got the transmission out. It was a struggle. Be a lot easier obviously on a lift. I'll tell you how I did it in my garage. Alright, so I bought this adapter. It's a transmission jack adapter that goes onto your trolley jack. It's great. You change the angle, straps onto the transmission gearbox. It's good, but it's too tall. to get anything out. So the jack stands are all the way up, high as they can be. I got the transmission jack in there, jacked it up a little bit, could probably go up 50mm, which was good because it allowed me to slide the transmission off the engine and those studs that are at the bottom of the engine, just like, you can't tell, but there's studs on the bottom of Subaru engines, so I could slide it off, and then I had the trouble of getting it out. So I got the engine crane and set the chain down and hooked over here, and then I brought it up, got my other trolley jack under the back side of it and jacked it up, so then I could get that out. And then I lowered it down onto the cardboard and slid it out with just enough room. It was a struggle. I did it last night. It took me 3 hours by myself to do that. Yeah, a long time. So there was a lot more wiring than I thought was on the gearbox. So we've pretty much got an entire wiring loom here that went to the auto that I might not need. So I might be able to put all my knock sensors and cam and crank sensor wiring through that grommet there, instead of the one that it was where the clutch master is coming through now. So that might work out well for me. I'll have to still work out the wiring for the brake lights and the neutral switch that are on the 6-speed over here. So the only wiring that's on there. But we'll get that sorted, and that'll be in a future episode. I'll do a whole episode just on the wiring part of it as well. But for this episode, we pretty much got everything automatic out. We got the shifter, we got the drive shaft, and we got the transmission out. The only thing I didn't get off was the flex plate that's still in the back of the engine. I got to find out if the clutch or the flywheel bolts are the same on the EZ30 to the EJ20, the same length, I think. Pretty sure they are. So I'll just steal them off this one because I got a new flywheel and clutch, which you'll see next episode.